y'all, it's Katie. Welcome back to From My Vanity and welcome to a tag video. You guys know I love to do these tag videos and today we're doing the Unpopular Opinions makeup tag. I saw Angelica Nyqvist. She did this makeup tag called the Unpopular Opinions makeup tag and it was created by Ola Quin and Nobody's Beauty Guru. So if I'm understanding Ola's video correctly, this Unpopular Opinions tag has been around the book side of the YouTube community for a while and she just took it and altered and kind of tweaked the questions to make it applicable to makeup. I'm going to have both of their channels linked down below, their videos linked down below, and Angelica's video linked down below. But yeah, there are just, I believe, 8 questions. 8 questions. I'm really excited to get into them. I think this is a great way for me to kind of talk a little bit about drama and a little bit about my unpopular opinions, because when I do reviews, I really like to just kind of focus on the product and just, there's so much baggage out there, especially recently. So yeah, this can be a video that if you want to kind of hear a little bit about my opinions on something, on some YouTubers, this is a video for you. If you aren't about the drama, skip this video and wait for my next video where there will be more reviews and more information. So yeah, if that sounds good to you, let's just get on into the questions. Okay, so question number 1 is popular makeup product you don't like. This was pretty easy. I feel like I mention them all the time, but they're applicable and they're the first thing that come to the top of my head, but they are the Bad Habit palettes. Now, to be fair, and I've had some people leave comments of like, oh, like you really hate them, I better not get into them. Let me clarify myself, or just clarify what I put out there by saying, I don't like these personally because of my makeup preferences. So I try to be really clear, but I feel like sometimes either through editing, because sometimes I can edit a video for hours and I just forget the important parts I want to make sure I leave in and I maybe edit it out, maybe shorten it, maybe I'm just not very clear in my videos. But to be clear, I don't like these because my preference is like what I have today. I used 3 shadows in the crease and 2 matte shadows on my lid that bleed into the shimmer color on my lid. I like to use a lot of colors. The one on the outside is black, the one on the center was a more of a burgundy type of shade, and when you look at it in person, you can see that. Same story with the shades in my crease. I have a very pink one up here, well I have a cream one on top, and then a very pink one, and then I have more of a reddish, almost burgundy, but a little bit brighter, and you can see that. You can tell the difference. They all stand out and look really pretty. You're able to see all those different colors blended together, and then I had a shimmer on my lid, but I topped it with a glitter, so we're talking about the mattes here because that's, I feel like, my biggest annoyance with these Bad Habit palettes. And the reason I'm explaining all that is because when I try to do that with this, it frustrates me more so because the mattes, you get the best results if you use a sticky base like a concealer and then you use just like one matte. Whatever matte you put down on that sticky base is going to be the matte that plays the best, blends the best, looks the best, is the most pigmented. If you try to go in with a shadow in your crease and then go right below it, right into the crease and do another shadow, it doesn't stand out. It kind of fluffs away. It doesn't have a lot of intensity. It doesn't want to stick. And that is why I personally don't like the Bad Habit palettes. If you are someone who just likes to do one color in your crease, one color in your outer corner, a shimmer on the lid, you're probably going to like this formula. It's going to work out just fine for you, as long as you also take into consideration the shimmers here are the kind that very easy, if you put on too much, they easily emphasize texture on your eyelids or honestly just make texture on your eyelids. I have that problem a lot when I use these palettes. So for those two reasons, that's why I personally don't like the Bad Habit palettes. But I definitely know that I am very much in the minority here. I hope that was a little more clarity to explain it because I don't want to steer you guys wrong. If you're someone who doesn't like to do like this type of look or, you know, get really colorful and add tons of colors to your eyelids, you just like one simple, or just, and maybe some people even do like 2 shadows on the lid and they're done. That's what they like. I think you'll really like this. But anyway, I'm gonna go in circles like I always do, and I always have to edit these out. All that to say, I don't personally like these. They're okay. I have these 2 in my collection. I don't know. I'm keeping them in for now. I have not had the desire to reach back for them, but I do like being able to go and reference them for videos like this. And maybe one day I'll give it another try. Maybe I'll fall in love. But right now, I'm not huge into the Bad Habit palettes. Question number 2, popular makeup product or brand that everyone else seems to hate but you love. This is an easy one. I feel like everyone says this who does love this palette, but it's the Subculture palette from ABH. I really do like this. I just am very careful when I go in. I don't really dig in there at all. I just barely tap and blend and use more packing motion with very lightly blending around, that kind of thing. You have to be careful because they're so pigmented. But for me personally, I don't mind that, and I just, when I go in to create a look for this palette, I know that, and so I have that expectation, and I'm able to create pretty looks. So yeah, while everyone else seems to hate this palette, I really like it. I get a lot of really pretty looks for it. I love it for the yellows, orange, and greens. But yeah, that is my pick for the unpopular makeup item that everyone hates but I love. And with that said, like, not everyone hates it. I know there are a lot of gals here on YouTube that love it, but we are definitely in the minority. Question number 3, makeup collab you didn't like or were not interested in. I had 2 for this actually. The first being Kylie Cosmetics. I feel like she's been collabing with a lot of people recently, and there has yet to be a collab that I am even remotely interested in. With that said, there really hasn't been a Kylie Cosmetics launch that I am remotely interested in. So I feel like that's kind of, you know, a cop-out. But one I can actually say that I am interested in trying one of her collabs, but at this point none have really interested me, is any Kathleen Lights collab. I feel like she does a lot of collabs, especially with ColourPop, but even with other brands and whatnot. Anytime she comes out with a collab, I'm always like, ooh, like, what is she gonna be collabing? Since we're spilling all the tea in this video, I might as well share. I don't subscribe to her. I don't really know why. I go on and off. Just sometimes her videos are my jive, and then other times they really aren't, so that's kind of why I go back and forth. But with that said, even though I don't always follow and watch her videos, I still am always interested in her collabs, and to date there hasn't been one yet that I am so into that I'm excited to buy. I almost bought the Zodiac one, but even that palette that she did with ColourPop wasn't super creative. Like, there were a lot of neutral shades in there, so I don't know. Maybe her style is just totally not mine. She creates really pretty looks though, so I was kind of hoping the Zodiac palette would be a bit more colorful and more like wabam. But anyway, all that to say, I'm always eyeing Kathleen Lights collabs, but I have yet to see a collab that makes me want to buy. Question number 4, popular makeup step that you never do. This is an easy one. My brows. I do my brows, but let me explain. I don't do Instagram brows. I'm not someone who creates brow strokes, which I feel like is a kind of a cop-out for this answer or this question, because I don't need to do strokes because I have such full brows. So if we're wanting to be super fair, I don't carve out my brows either. Once I fill them in, and put some brow gel in them, I do not take concealer on the top or the bottom. The only time I ever take concealer on the bottom is if I am doing it I'm wanting to put concealer on my eyes before creating a look. That's the only time that I'll go and kind of carve it out. But even then, I carve it out before I even do my brows, because I always do my brows last. I don't want harsh brow lines. I feel like the more, not blurry, but I feel like not so harsh looks a little bit more natural, and that's what I prefer, just to like leave my eyebrows as they are, as long as they aren't going in crazy different directions, and as long as I kind of fill in the sparseness I have here, and then I have a scar up here, I'm good. That's all I want. So yeah, that's what I don't do, and I feel like everyone else does. Question number 5, popular beauty influencer you don't subscribe to or watch. This is Hot Shady Tea though, LOL. Okay, so I immediately thought of one lady, and then I thought of another gal, so I'm gonna just share 2. I don't know if that's really mean of me, but I think both of these are people that I used to watch and be super big fans of, and now I'm not, and I think, I don't know, I figured I would just share with you guys. The first one being Tati. Now, I know Tati has been in a lot of drama recently. Just to throw it out there, I do not agree with the hate that she got over that review she did for Makeup Revolution. That was nasty, to be quite honest. I don't think anyone should get that much hate, even if they are a dishonest person, even if they do something with a palette to purposely manipulate it. And I'm not saying she did, but I'm saying if it's obvious that someone did that, they still don't deserve the kind of hate that she did. Like, you can't, I mean, just growing up, you don't return evil for evil. That's just what I was taught. So the amount of hate she got, even though I personally thought she was being a little unfair, that was totally undeserved. But anyway, let's push that aside. I got sidetracked for a minute. I used to be a huge fan of Tati. It's so tough because I have a soft spot in my heart for Tati because she was a YouTuber probably 3 years ago, I think I found her like 4 years ago, and I want to say I unsubscribed to her a little over a year ago at this point, probably closer to 2. To be totally blunt, it was when she became friends, did the whole video collab with Jeffree Star. So whenever that was, that's when I decided to unsubscribe. It was shortly after, but that was kind of the turning point, or just the climax. So anyway, I used to watch her religiously. I think I found her 4 or 5 years ago. I can't even remember. I'm horrible at keeping time, but I thought she was amazing. She had the most thorough reviews. She always went into such detail. I thought she was the bomb.com. Whenever anyone asked for a good YouTuber, Tati was the top of my list. And then I don't exactly remember when it was, but I remember feeling a change in her channel. And it was roughly around, I'm not blaming it on those, but it was roughly around when she started to do the WTF videos and the OMG videos. It was around when she started incorporating those into her channel. I felt like she was leaving behind those thorough reviews and becoming more of like, just try it once and give your thoughts, a lot of, you know, full face first impressions, that kind of thing. And I mean, I still stuck around because it was a while before the Jeffree Star happened, but I just felt like I started watching her less and less. I started trusting her, not trusting her, but I just started taking her comments, she said, with a grain of salt because I knew she wasn't reviewing it as much. And on top of that, like, I didn't care about the WTF and the OMG. Like, those just didn't matter to me because I would never want to purchase that. Like, I'm not into super luxury makeup and I'm not into those super gimmicky weird things that they have out there. So they just didn't interest me as much. But I still stuck around for her reviews because she would do more thorough reviews, and whenever she talked about products she loved for a long time, I could take her word on those. But then it just kind of kept slowly changing, and I just found myself clicking on and watching her videos less and less. And she's someone who posts, I think, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. And I just found myself kind of skipping over her. And then when the whole Jeffree Star thing happened, it kind of rubbed me a little the wrong way because Tati is such like before this, she was a very calm person. She was very laid back. She was very sweet. I feel like before that, she wasn't really into any drama. I could be mistaken, or I just didn't know it at the time. And then she did this video with Jeffree Star, who at the time, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think he even did his apology video at that time. He was and still is a very controversial and just controversial person, and she did it with him then. And it wasn't because she did a collab with him that made me click the unsubscribe. It was how she responded to her viewers. And I feel like she should have, so this is just my personal opinion, I feel like she should have expected a lot of heat and a lot of backlash from her loyal fans for doing a video and just publicly showing her friendship with Jeffree Star and doing a video. I feel like she should have expected the backlash because she, before that, was very, she is still, I feel like, polar opposite to Jeffree Star. Now she's getting into a little more drama these days, but that doesn't have anything to do with it. They're just, besides the drama, their characteristics seem polar opposite from what we see on TV. So I feel like she should have expected her fans to have a little bit of a whiplash, at least a whiplash effect. Not to say that she should have expected a bunch of hate and expected a bunch of people to attack her person, her family, anything like that. But I saw a lot of comments when that video came out. I forget what video it was, but I always read comments, and I saw a lot of people saying, hey, like, I have watched you for so long. I have supported you for so long. I really don't think this is okay for you to be friends with this guy. He's just so problematic and you are just so not. I saw a lot of comments that weren't necessarily evil and mean. They were just more of just like, kind of with me, I was just like, wow, I did not see that coming. And I remember watching her snaps and just talking about how like the haters were in her comment section. And maybe I just wasn't seeing all the people that were being hateful, and maybe she was just deleting them super quick and whatnot before I think she turned off the comments to that video. But I just thought that that was a little mean to kind of group her loyal followers in the hater section because they disagreed with her. And, you know, as I'm saying that, like, I just feel like she should have expected some kind of just shock from her viewers. And I feel like for her especially, a lot of her viewers were not super young. I feel like a lot of her viewers were kind of older women, more mature women. At least that's what I felt like at the time before, you know, she started, you know, she's in the 4 million now. I really don't keep up with her anymore, so I could be totally wrong. But back then I felt like she was more of a mature audience, and I think that's why a lot of her loyal followers who were more mature kind of had that reaction, because Jeffree Star is just so problematic. You wouldn't think that the two of them would just team up. And I think there was even hints of a collab, but I had never saw anything about a collab. I don't know. That just really, that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And that was the part, that was like the climax, like I said, that made me really just kind of pull away from her channel. And then I think it was a couple weeks, months later, I finally just unsubscribed because I wasn't watching any of her videos after that. And every now and then I go back and I watch her videos. I've gone back and watched her declutter videos before all that happened. I still really like those. I don't know. I just felt like her focus on her channel changed drastically. I'm not saying she as a person changed, but the focus and what I grew to love about her channel before changed to what it, you know, and what it is now today. And I'm not really into what it is now today. So that's why I unsubscribed from her. I feel like I took way too long on that one. I'm going to try to be a little more brief. The other person that I unsubscribed to and no longer watch anymore is Madison Miller. Now, she was someone who, I didn't really go to her for in-depth, thorough reviews, but I did go to her for first impressions. I went to her for information on the new products. I went to her for her personality. She was really happy, you know, bubbly type of personality, and I really enjoyed her channel for a very long time. I want to say 2 years-ish. I forget how long that I was watching her. But when she became an Ipsy creator or something, I forget what it is exactly, but she basically like partnered with Ipsy. She started having to travel down to Ipsy and like film there a lot. I don't know. As soon as that happened, I noticed a drastic change in the content, and she was a lot more, not spotty, because she kind of still kept to her schedule, but the content she was putting out was a lot less. There was a lot less meat to it for me personally. Like, I like reviews, and even if you can't give a review, you do first impression. I like it to be informative mixed with other videos. And right before I unsubscribed with her, she, I want to say, posted twice a month, and every week she had like a huge PR unboxing. Sprinkled like in the middle of that would be like trying all new makeup and stuff. It just wasn't the content that I wanted. And every now and then I see a video pop up in my recommendations tab from her, and I'll go watch it, but I haven't hit subscribe again. She is expecting her first little baby, which I think is really sweet. But yeah, her content just isn't my jam right now, and that's okay. I don't mean to name either of these ladies to say I hate them or I think you shouldn't watch them. I think we're all different. I think we all have different personalities, and that is the beauty of YouTube, is that there is a ton of people out there you can follow. There is a ton of different personalities out there that you can jive with or not jive with. And yeah, that's why, and I mean, and add to that, like, I can subscribe, unsubscribe. I can subscribe back to them if I change my mind, but at this point right now, I'm unsubscribed from both of them, and those are the reasons why. I feel like that question just made this video an hour long. Anyway, moving on. Question number 6, popular makeup product or brand that you don't use, support anymore. Now, I really don't have a brand that I don't support anymore. I feel like right now with Tarte, I'm kind of paused on with Tarte just because of all the drama they've had, their shade selection, and the fact that a lot of their releases are just darn boring. With that said, I wasn't really into Tarte's color aspect of their makeup, but I really did enjoy their face products. But with everything that's going on, I'm kind of giving Tarte a pause. So I guess that could be one that I don't support anymore. But not to say that I'm never going to buy from them though, because there hasn't been a brand that has done something and I'm like, never gonna buy unless they drastically change. For the most part, I'm not really someone who cancels a brand. I know that's a really popular phrase, that a brand is canceled. I'm not really someone who does that, but I can say Tarte is one that I have definitely put a pause, and I haven't bought anything from them in a long time. But yeah, Tarte, I guess, can be my pick. I wasn't gonna put anything, but yeah, Tarte is one that, not that it's canceled permanently, but right now I'm just taking a pause, and I haven't bought anything from them. Not that anything that they have launched recently has caught my eye, because it's all pretty boring. Question number 7, makeup trend that you have no interest in trying. Dewy skin. I see so many videos, especially recently or just this summer, of, you know, how to get the dewiest skin, gorgeous dewy skin, or YouTubers doing like get ready with me's and just like dousing their face in, you know, these luminous setting sprays, putting on these luminous product, and then they just look like my highlight is like, that's how their whole face looks, all the highlights of their face, and they're just like, oh, this is so beautiful, and I'm just like, no thank you. Like, this is about as intense as I want to get. Like, my skin looks wet with this highlighter on. I'll have it, if you want to know what it is, it'll be in the description box. But it looks wet, and I'm not too into it. I would only wear this type of highlighter for filming, because in the everyday life, I don't like how it looks, because I look like I have oily skin right here. It's just a little too much for a highlight for me. But yeah, I feel like dewy skin has been totally in this year, and I'm just not into it. So it's a different day, different makeup, different filming setup, but I do want to interrupt my video and replace one of my answers. I was going through and editing the video last night, and when I got to this last question, I was just like, oh my goodness, Katie, you missed like the most obvious ones. And I didn't really like the one I gave. It was more so like, oh, this is, I suppose, the best one that I could do. I wanted to replace the last question that I did. I wanted to pick the Benefit push-up liner. Do you guys remember that liner that it was supposed to make like doing a wing and a cat eye so easy? By the way, my son's awake. He's playing over here in the little kitchen area, so if you hear noises, that's him. But anyway, the little push-up liner, and it was supposed to be like a gel liner in a pen form, and it was supposed to make it easier to just kind of squeeze up a little bit of gel, and it had kind of the elongated tip that came to a point, so you're supposed to really easily just be able to do the little cat flip, pull it through, you know, pull it back, line your eyes, you were one and done. I thought that was an amazing idea, and then it came out and I saw the reviews, and oh my goodness, I don't think I ever saw a good review for that liner. So that I feel like totally is the #1 spot for products that sounded better in theory than they actually worked in real life. I'm sorry the sun is leaving. Okay, so now we can go back to past Katie when she recorded this video a couple days ago and close this out. Alright, so there you have it. That is the Unpopular Opinions makeup tag. I feel like a lot of people are going to give this disclaimer, but please don't get offended. Anything I said in this video, any products that you love or don't love, or people especially, I don't mean any hate towards them. There are still things, even though I don't subscribe to any of these ladies, and even though, you know, I have some issues with what Tati's done recently, these are still women who are on YouTube doing a fantastic job at giving content to people. They both have very successful channels. They are reaching people that enjoy their content, and I think that's wonderful. I'm just someone who right now the content that they're putting out isn't my preference, and that's okay. That's okay for us to have different preferences with what we like to watch on YouTube. That's why it's awesome that YouTube is such a big space. There's so many beauty YouTubers out there giving you different content, so you can find the content that you want to watch and watch it. So I hope you can take it for what it is. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you very soon in my next one. Bye guys.